Let's fact check Penny Wong today, the Foreign Minister, because we need to fact check her response today to criticism, even a call from the Liberals that she might have to quit for funding an organisation that employed Palestinian terrorists. Now, here are the question Penny Wong faces, a couple of them. Why did she double our funding of a United Nations Agency for Palestinian so-called refugees that hired Palestinian teachers who we have known for years have preached terrorism to their students? Why did she 2 weeks ago give this same organisation, UNRWA, another $6 million on top of that $20 million, when there was evidence that this organisation was paying teachers who were praising the terrorist attack on Israel on October 7 that started this war, the slaughter of 1,200 Jews, the rapes, the kidnappings. And now UNRWA has had to sack 9 of its staff, investigating a couple of more after being given evidence that they joined in that killing and the kidnappings. And the opposition leader today was saying, well, look, Wong might have to quit.
I believe that Penny Wong's position is untenable if it's demonstrated that she had advice that this money could be used for a purpose that wasn't intended by the government.
But all Wong has done so far after the latest news is paused our funding of UNRWA temporarily, she says. But today she made clear she'd like to actually keep sending this corrupted body more of your money. And soon, even after reports that Israel now has shown the US evidence that about 1,200 UNRWA employees, more than 1,000, are actually members of the Hamas and Islamic Jihad terrorist groups that even now are holding Jewish hostages.
It is the only organisation which delivers the sort of assistance and substantive support into the occupied Palestinian territories within the international system. So that is the reality. Can I also remind people what is happening in Gaza at the moment? We have reports from the UN that 400,000 Palestinians in Gaza are actually starving.
Joining me is Michael Danby, a former federal Labor MP. Michael Danby, thank you for joining me. First, before I fact-check that last claim by Penny Wong, how compromised is this UNRWA that she wants to fund again?
Utterly infiltrated and corrupted. Anyone who sees the testimony before the US Congress today, Penny, you ought to get your DFAT advisors at least to look at that. It's an organisation that's irredeemable. In the meantime, aid has to be got into deserving Palestinians, but if we want to end the process of fanaticization, and if we want to have a solution between the two people, there's got to be a different way of managing the Palestinian aid from the UN. It should be done like all other refugees from the UNHCR, a reputable organisation whose hierarchy can't be intimidated because it's all over the world. So it's not just in the Gaza Strip or in the West Bank.
Yeah, well, that's the point about this UNRWA that's devoted purely for Palestinians, so-called refugees, but also it employs, if the Israelis are to be believed, 1,200 people who are actually members of 2 of the terrorist groups behind this war, Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Now, but she says we still need to fund UNRWA because Palestinians are starving and only UNRWA can get the aid to them. That's not correct, is it? You mentioned the United Nations refugee group. They could do this.
Well, UNHCR is a reputable organisation that works in every country on earth. In the meantime, the World Food Programme and other UN agencies are there. I don't think UNRWA can be disbanded straight away, but if we want a long-term solution between the two people, Penny Wong and people like her, the Oxfam whingers who are on the ABC, putting one-sided point of view about UNRWA, have to look at the burning ship. And UNRWA is a ship that has associated itself with the Hamas attacks, has got so many double members of Hamas and UNRWA. The Israelis are going to be in charge, at least in security, after the war is over there, and they're simply not going to trust UNRWA. Why did young men come and rape women and disfigure their genitals and all of the horrible things we know about, Andrew? Because they had 75 years of fanaticization by an organisation which taught them that they're not going to be like normal refugees and adjust to life in the country that they live in, i.e. Gaza or the West Bank. They're going to return. So it's an organisation, temporary organisation, created 75 years ago that has enhanced this process of the conflict. And if people are sincere about ending the conflict, they have to have another look at UNRWA. I'm telling you, if Sweden has pulled the pin on them financially, then UNRWA's in a lot of trouble.
But Michael, you must be so disappointed as a long-time Labor MP and member about what your party now in government is doing here, because there are also reports today that Penny Wong is behind a go slow on processing requests from Israel to get some of our military equipment or components. Now, the Defence Minister, Richard Marles, today didn't exactly deny this.
There are no exports of weapons from Australia to Israel and have been for many, many years. Australia's defence export control regime is one which is thorough and detailed as it applies to defence exports or dual-use items to anywhere in the world. And in short, the application of that process takes time.
So I guess from that is saying there is a delay, but it's normal. What do you make of that?
Rubbish. Poor Richard is a minority in a socialist left-dominated government. You know, we've got the farcical situation. Yesterday, we've been Packham at the Australians revealing that the Israelis are selling us Iron Fist, which is an anti-drone defence technology, but we won't even sell them defensive stuff because of this war period. Now, it may be that all countries, they go slow on dealing with them during military conflicts, but there's a pattern here, Andrew, the withdrawal of the recognition of West Jerusalem, the giving of loads of taxpayers' money, $200 million, the Adelaide Advertiser says, since over the last 20 years to that crooked organisation UNRWA, where 12 of them participated in the attacks. As you said, 1,300 are double members of Hamas and UNRWA. And Hillel Neuer from the UN Watch says that 3,000 of them participated in a Telegram group that supported the attack on October 7. What an outfit.
I don't know, our record now of supporting democratic allies under attack from Russia, Iran and terrorists backed by Iran is so hopeless now. The issues I've mentioned to you, the fact that we'd rather bury 45 Taipan helicopters than give them to Ukraine, which is begging for them to defend itself against Russia, and the fact that we couldn't even send a single ship. What did we send? About a dozen, 15 people, just that, to protect shipping that's under attack by Iranian-backed rebels in the Red Sea. I mean, the whole thing, it's just disgraceful.
It's a socialist left government. You never expect this of Kim Beazley, Bob Hawke, or Paul Keating or Bill Shorten. Just, it's a different world, and the ABC and the government's boosters will not report it.
Well, the time might come when you're going to tear up your Labor Party membership right here live on TV. But Michael Danby, thank you so much for your time.
Loyal to the tribe, always.